I'm going to work with Oliver here on some self-defense drills. The challenge with a lot of self-defense drills is that it's usually done in a blocked format. And it's good that you could do it in a blocked format for a little bit because it teaches you the fundamentals. So what I mean by a blocked format is, take for example, this typical Krav Maga technique where I have this knife against Oliver's throat. He pushes the blade away and just starts pressing in with a lot of punches to the face. And we may do like 10,000 rounds of it. And it's good for Oliver to understand the fundamentals, but eventually at Oliver's level, what we want to do is basically work on the ability of decision-making, adaptability, and problem solving. Also too, I want to check to see if Oliver understands the techniques, if he's remembered the techniques, so to speak. And another challenge we have with self-defense techniques is that typically they're taught in a decomposed manner, meaning that we work on this one segment, then we'll work on another part of self-defense, and then we expect the student to actually put all of the stuff together later on if he gets into a real fight or a real self-defense situation. And that never really happens because we train in a fragmented manner, we train in a decomposed manner, and we're trying to expect our student to actually put all this stuff together in a real fight. And that rarely ever happens. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the way we teach our student doesn't actually transfer to real life, whether it's on the streets or in the boxing ring. So we're going to show you like 3 separate drills. I'm going to try to put them together so we make the best training scenario for Oliver here. So drill number 1 is that I hold the blade against Oliver's throat. And then let's like also know that obviously if Oliver can comply, if I just want his phone or his wallet, he should just give it to me, right? I don't know under what circumstances Oliver would do these techniques. Maybe I'm trying to abduct him or take him somewhere else, or maybe there's some contextual story beforehand that we don't know about. But obviously here in a situation where I'm trying to mug him, Oliver should try to comply as much as possible. So I don't want to really get too much into it. I want to look more at the physical techniques today. So here, I have the blade against Oliver. He's going to move his body and move the weapon, press it against my body, and start punching me in the face. That's one typical attack that we have from Krav Maga. Another one is that maybe I hold the blade this way to the side of his neck. So same concept, he's going to move his body, move the weapon. In this case, he's going to double up his grip here. He's going to kick to the groin, headbutt, or whatever. That's a second possibility. A third technique now is that maybe we're out here in free space. I don't have the blade fixed against Oliver's throat. I'm going to swing like angle number 1, for example. He's going to do a block, for example, tie me up an underhook, knee to the groin, headbutt, whatever, and do an arm drag, and then make his escape. So those are like 3 separate drills. And what I want to show here is like how we can put them all together so that basically Oliver can work on his decision-making, adaptability, problem solving. I want to check for understanding. Does Oliver actually understand all these techniques? And then we want to teach it in a composed manner, meaning all these techniques come together. They're not fragmented, right? We know that fights are unpredictable, they're chaotic, and so our training to a certain degree has to be unpredictable and chaotic with safety in mind. We don't want Oliver to get hurt. So what can happen here? Maybe I hold the blade towards Oliver's throat and he complies. He gives me his money, he gives me his phone, and that's the end of the drill. Another possibility is that maybe he does all that stuff, he gives me all that kind of stuff, and I still go to attack him, he defends, and he makes his escape, yada, yada, yada. A third possible scenario is this. Maybe, for whatever reason, Oliver decides to defend himself, go ahead, and he succeeds, all right, and he makes his escape. Another possibility, maybe Oliver tries to defend himself, and now I get to resist, and now he has to adapt. So those are so many different possibilities we work with. So now we're going to go through those possibilities. Oliver doesn't know which one I'm going to do. It's unpredictable. It's up to Oliver basically to use the right response. And maybe he doesn't use the right response. He has to actually adapt to the situation. So let's go through the scenarios. Maybe in this case, Oliver complies. Maybe he complies again. Good, so you can see there that Oliver, we're going through all these different scenarios here. So now Oliver's a little bit more stressed out. He has to actually try to like pick up the proper response depending on the kind of attack I give him. So we're not going through blocked fundamental training anymore. We're trying to actually teach Oliver how to basically make the right decision depending on the stimulus I give him. If he fails, problem solving, how to adapt to the situation. Sometimes he didn't do the proper technique. Maybe he combined so many techniques together. We got some role playing too, with some compliance, some verbals, which we didn't add today, but we could add that in the future. So this is an example of how we take these self-defense drills, take them out of the typical block training, how to decompose, try to put them all together, and again, training Oliver on the idea of adaptability, decision-making, and problem solving. If you like this video, I have another one too, where we apply the same ideas actually to Kali, the Filipino martial arts.